This is Thailand's biggest night for hockey. This is Hockey Night in Thailand.
And from Bangkok, Thailand, we welcome you inside Thailand's biggest night for hockey. This is Hockey Night in Thailand. My name is Adam Gottschalk. I have Greg Beatty, and I can't hear anything in my headset, so I assume we're on the air. All right.
We're on the air.
So, anyway. I'm gonna let us sort this out because I can't. I've got a 2-second delay and I can't talk that way. Can you feed me some headphone levels? Sorry, guys, who's watching this. This is a little messy. Check. 1, 2, 3. All right, I can finally hear something.
Yep. It's good now.
So let's start again. My name's Adam Gottschalk. I have Lance Parker and Greg Beatty with me. And this is the second game of the doubleheader and my first game of the day with these guys. I'm sorry I missed that first one. That was my first time ever watching a game here that's not me broadcasting the game. I actually got to stand ice level and watch some of the game. I stood over your shoulders and heckled you guys a little bit. But, man, that is a game with some serious implications. I want to talk about that one before we transition to this one, because Lexicon Lumberjacks with a 4-1 win over KCG. I don't know mathematically whether that means we have a new number one in the league, but
I believe they do. Yes, I think Lexicon may be up by 1 point. So if Lexicon can win again next game, they'll definitely hold on to that title. But if Lexicon loses the next game and KCG wins their next game, then KCG will retain the crown of the league. But as it stands, no pun intended, I believe Lexicon is on top.
Now, obviously, that is something that is not really consequential. It all comes down to how you play in the playoffs, and both teams will be in the playoffs.
Relatively.
But it does make a huge difference when you talk about momentum and who's playing well right now. And I think the two teams that are playing the best right now are Lexicon Lumberjacks and Aware. We've seen the last few weeks a complete 180 in this Aware team, which now we get to see them against SIAM Mandalay.
Yes.
And all of a sudden, this is a team that feels like it could make some noise in the playoffs.
Yin Tanakokriat has been a regular sub, as you may or may not be aware. He's got one of the hardest shots in the league. Having that shot on their blue line and his experience patrolling the defensive zone is a huge asset for Aware. I'm not sure what other subs they've picked up permanently, but having Yin Tanakokriat certainly helps.
So in this game, to answer your question, by the way, Yin's playing Wyatt Tiford, Thor Chartsuan, and we had a last-minute notification that Michael White was not going to be here today, so Mankorn Sukwabun is also in the lineup.
Oh, Mankorn doing the doubleheader as well.
For Aware, that's correct. SIAM Mandalay is pretty much full strength. There's no subs on the roster. They're missing 1 or 2 guys, but that's all. For SIAM Mandalay, it's just about finishing the season and getting into the playoffs, finding some kind of rhythm. Both of these teams underwater, obviously, in goal differential. Aware comes in having given up 84 goals. They've scored 59. SIAM Mandalay has scored only 48 goals. They've given up the same 84. SIAM Mandalay has just been an offense. I guess, that top line has been scoring goals all season. Beyond that, they really haven't gotten much production.
Right.
We're coming down to the end of the year. We're 1 week away from the finish of the regular season and the New Year break, the Songkran break here, which means for SIAM Mandalay, running out of time to have that performance where they can put the pieces together.
Yep, that is true.
14 games, divide that 48 by 14. That's under 4 goals a game for that team. So as we're underway, Greg, I want to bring you into the broadcast and talk about the goalie matchup. So it's Dream Unkulpatanasuk, who's the usual starter for SIAM Mandalay. Numbers for Dream, not too bad. Only a 82, almost 83% saves percentage, which is pretty good. The goal against allowed is more indicative of the team as they've performed in front of him this season, as it's over 5. James Speck gets the start in red. The last time we saw him, obviously that was a terrific performance that we'll be talking about when this season's over.
Yeah, he had his best game of the season by far, maybe the best of any goalie. He made some outstanding saves. He got the win for Aware, and let's see how he plays tonight.
So Aware is in the red, SIAM Mandalay in the white. As we start this game, it's Aware moving from left to right as we watch it from upstairs, SIAM Mandalay from right to left. And with that, here we go. 17 minutes running clock, that's the way the rules work in the SIAM Hockey League. 3 periods, obviously, not just the 1 17-minute. It would not be worth coming all the way over here for one 17-minute hockey game. That's not true. I'd still come.
Yeah, I didn't know how to respond to that. I mean, I love hockey so much. It's one of my favorite parts of living in Thailand, believe it or not. There's so much hockey almost every day of the week.
Jeff Benazzo just registers the game's first shot on goal for SIAM Mandalay, and looking to go 5-hole, but Speck was able to squeeze the pads and get that one to stay out. We're just underway. Aware comes into this one 5-9-2. SIAM Mandalay in last place in the league out of the 4 teams. They're 3-12-1. SIAM Mandalay with the game's first 2 shots, though. That one was deflected in front and on net.
No Scott Murray out there tonight. You'll be pleased to know that he did score last game.
I was watching. I was watching, and I assume that's why he's now happily taking the week off. You know, he did his job. No need to tax the body 2 straight weeks like that. Tom Stasny with the interception. Stasny rifles a shot that deflects off Speck's glove and goes behind the net.
Wide open cage there. I thought.
I think Speck, you're right, was thinking that Stasny was going to pass it as Dream snacks that one out of the air and gloves it for the cover. I want to go back real quick before we really get into this game to look at the first game of the day today. We talked about the implications for KCG having dropped another one. That's 3 out of 4, I believe, that they've lost in regulation after not having a single regulation loss all season before that. However, let's talk about it from Lexicon Lumberjacks' perspective. Tell me what they did right in that game. Other than get some great goalkeeping from Ben Kleinische.
Yeah, I think Ben was the big difference. Lexicon wasn't getting a lot of shots in that first half of the game. I mean, sure, they scored on their first goal, first attempt, but beyond that, KCG was absolutely dominating them.
Yeah, they certainly fell asleep during the second period, and they came alive back in the third and scored up most of their goals in the third period. So they finished nicely, but the second period, they fell asleep.
Yeah, again, big Ben Kleinische was all the difference. I mean, of course, the 3 goals by Lexicon certainly helped, but without Ben tending the goal, it could have been a very different game. So again, I'm going to say I'm glad it was him, not me.
That's Mike Poirier, who's fighting for the puck in the corner on the left side, right in our blind spot. So if anything exciting happens down there, Greg, I'm relying on you to tell me about it.
Okay. He wins the battle. Oh, I spoke too soon.
Taken away by Ernesto Bauer. And coming in is Wyatt Tieford, 6 in red. His shot deflects off the side of the net. No score. We are 4 minutes into this one. That was a crazy deflection off the stick of Devin Michael. That was just a little dribbler that was going several feet wide to the right, and it ends up deflected on net. But Dream was not dreaming on that one. Doesn't usually take me 4.5 minutes into the game before I'm able to come up with one of those, but I'm a little slow today. I've been eating donuts since 3 this afternoon. Devin Michael turnaround shot on a loose puck that bounces towards Dream's blocker and is kicked aside, and now back to SIAM Mandalay. It's Mike Friesen, their leading point scorer, and it gets past. Well, I mean, it was a close icing call, but an icing call nonetheless, and the faceoff will come down to the other side.
So Adam, you were watching your first game. And it's such a difference from commenting on it, where you're able to look at it from a different level. So what did you think overall?
It's funny. If you think about what is it like to comment on a live sporting event, it's like watching it on TV. The speed is just like watching it on TV because you're first of all, you're only watching the puck, right?
Yeah.
You're watching what you're talking about. I can't describe to you what's happening with the puck while I'm watching something behind the play. But when you're not on the air, it's so different in being able to actually appreciate the full game of hockey. You can actually get. Yeah, and I'm going to take the headset off. You guys got it from here, actually. I think that was fun. No, I'm kidding. But it is, it's a massive difference just in terms of how much you see of what's behind the play. Stastny's shot deflects off the stick of Wyatt Tieford and out of play for the whistle. 4 shots on goal for Aware, 3 for SIAM Mandalay here in the opening first 6 minutes.
Oh, I have to ask Greg my favorite question. Greg, what do you predict for the outcome of this game?
Based on the play so far, both teams are playing well and fast. They're skating fast. I'm going to predict a 1-goal differential.
Oh, playing it safe.
Friesen with the interception and a nice play coming from behind to deflect that one away by Oztamel, the Aware captain who's seen his team playing their best hockey of late. You guys have both been around hockey in Thailand for a few minutes.
Yeah. Well, Greg is a recent recruit, believe it or not. Even though he's the senior member among us, it took me a good year to finally convince him to play. I've only known Greg for maybe 3 or 4 years, and he was only playing ball hockey back then.
Well, then, Lance, I'm going to pose the question to you.
Sure.
Can you remember a circumstance in which the team that wins the championship is seated 3rd or lower?
Yes, I've got a very fond memory of that. I think in 2018, 5 years ago, I was on a place much like SIAM Mandalay. We were the bottom of the league almost all season. We somehow snuck into 3rd in the last couple of weeks, and then we walked away with the championship. So, very good memory for me. I was the goalkeeper.
I'm sure there are guys on this Aware team, notably Harrison Oztamel, the captain, obviously, but guys who've been around long enough to remember that and know that that's possible. And I like the way this Aware team's playing. I like the confidence they're playing with the last few weeks. I think it's a very wide open playoff race that, if you'd asked me a month ago, it would not have looked wide open at all. It looked like KCG was running away with the league.
It's like a whole different team out there.
And with everybody's experience here in hockey, a hot goaltender can make all the difference.
There's Michael, who had the puck taken off his stick on a pretty nice defensive play by Saku Rantanen. And it was Rantanen in the corner who looked to return the feed to McConnell, but that pass just bounces over his stick, and that's why the puck is still at neutral ice. Devin Michael has it and brings it back in offensively for Aware. No score. We're about midway through the opening period. Pretty strong skating on the puck by Gabe Roscoe. Did not get knocked off his feet. Now we have a loose biscuit right in front of the net and a little nifty backhand attempt from Tieford that sails wide. That was almost really dangerous.
I thought he was going to put that in.
Dream got hung out to dry a little bit on that one. Puck loose in the corner. 5 shots for Aware, 3 for SIAM Mandalay, but most of this period has been played on this side of the ice so far. The substitutions, if you are watching this on your laptop and you have your rosters open, Tieford's in 6 in red, Yin is 4 in red, Mancorn's 10 in red, and Thor Chartsuan is 16 also in red. Those are the numbers that don't correspond to your everyday rosters, which I'm sure you memorize when you watch them flash up on screen for half a second at the first period of each broadcast.
Stastny sure is looking fresh out there. I understand that you had some time to talk to him pre-game. He looks super healthy. What was he saying about his performance before he came out to the ice tonight?
Well, he's been battling a back injury. As we know, it held him out a couple of weeks ago. He said last week when he chanced it and played, despite having a back injury, it actually made him feel better. When he woke up the next day, he said he felt better after playing than he did beforehand. So I guess getting out there and testing it was a good thing. So he's out there. He's not 100%, but...
Well, he's looking a lot better this week than he did last week.
It's just the confidence of playing with an injury, I guess, once you survive it once. What a shot!
Oh, what a save!
Friesen's missile. Speck stayed with it and just shrugged his shoulder enough to get a piece of the puck.
Speck is such a big boy down there.
Mike Friesen, who comes in with 32 points on the season, 13 goals, 19 assists, one of the league's leading scorers. Great spot this season for SIAM Mandalay. There's a whistle, and I believe that's an offside.
Greg, you don't think that was an offside?
It was close for sure, but I think it was not an offside.
I wasn't really paying attention to all the players. Like Adam says, we're so busy, we're so glued to the puck that I didn't follow the line mates on there. But unfortunately for Aware, it is called offside.
Since we've got 3 of us up here, wouldn't it be fun to do something where instead of us all just watching the puck, we just divide the ice in thirds and I'll take the left, Lance, you've got you Lance, because you're in the middle.
Well, I'm in the middle, yeah, I guess I get the neutral.
You get the neutral
zone, yeah. So you didn't get to call any goals, but you can call some nice passing plays.
Adam Simpson just scored the game's first goal. Beautiful
magic
move.
word.
Simpson keeps the puck on a string and then goes top right corner and give Adam Simpson his first goal of the season, and that one was a scorer's goal. Pretty nifty play from Adam Simpson, the British defenseman for SIAM Mandalay, 1-0.
When he gets in close like that, he can put on a few moves, and he can put that puck on the twine, just like he did there.
Yeah. Nice goal for a defenseman, too.
Yep. From the United Kingdom, no less.
All right, Greg, this is your end of the ice now.
yeah. Well, there was no shot there, and it's back into the neutral zone.
Neutral zone. We got to get used to
Okay. Those are the puck just passed right through the neutral zone, everybody. Okay, back to you, Greg.
Ralph's got the puck.
Can we put the Benny Hill music on?
So there's a battle in the corner there. I'm just going to give Greg a little hand.
Poirier's clearing attempt did not get through. It's Eric Fowley who intercepted. Feeds Maillard, who rings the iron. Matthew Maillard had very little angle, but nearly put that one in.
That was the iron off Dream's mask, in fact. I think it might have hit him in the face.
Like Gabor in the first game tonight, he got hit in the face twice.
Oh, and he looked so dejected after that game, didn't he, Greg?
Yeah, actually, he was. As I said, he was very. I'll call it sober before the game started. He's very quiet. Not normally. He's very quiet tonight.
Right.
Very pensive, and he was deep in thought the whole night.
You know, I didn't ask him about it when I chatted with him before the game, but I'm sure he was not happy with what happened last week. I was watching your broadcast, and he played so well, except that corner off to his right.
And then again tonight,
at his feet, right? I think that really was something that must have bothered him, because how could it not, right? He played such a good hockey game, but that one spot was just being picked at.
Exactly. It was a goal scorer's dream spot, or the G spot.
G stands for goal. I don't know. Get your mind out of the gutter, whoever's thinking it means anything else.
I don't know what you're thinking,
Stasny with the puck, looking for a centering pass, but a nice diving play by, I think that was Mancorn, who dove to the ice and blocked it.
Ooh.
And it's taken away now behind the net by Ono Susutikul for Aware. SIAM Mandalay with a 1-0 lead. Aware has dominated time of possession here in the first, but all that matters is the scoreboard, and they find themselves trailing by 1, and that pass intercepted by Bonazzo, who had Stasny lurking, but he thought he might have just been offsides if he'd picked his skate up earlier, so Stasny holds the blue line, but can't get to the puck.
I'm glad he's okay, because the way he hesitated on that looked like his muscles froze up on him.
I think he knew that chasing that puck would have made it offsides.
Okay.
Well, it's been a fast period. There's less than 3 minutes remaining.
Well, what do you know? Time just goes.
What a shot.
Maillard with that Brandon Vick play we saw executed so perfectly earlier this season, that snapshot off the face-off. That one didn't get through, though. Stasny will attempt to collect the pass from Friesen. Stasny battling in the corner for it, but it's taken back, and here comes Maillard. Knocked off the puck by Dan Sinagulia's hip check. stays in possession. There's Tiford looking to Roscoe's shot. Snag it in midair. Somehow Dream saw that through a screen and snags it.
Nice glove save.
Absolutely.
Down to the final 2 minutes here of the opening period. It's a 1-0 SIAM Mandalay lead on Aware. And I'm not surprised when I say that score, because one thing we've learned this season is every time you think you know something about any of these teams, you don't. Fowley's shot whistles high. And there's a takeaway, and Ralph Dittmer will just fling it deep behind the net, and he was himself not across the red line yet, and so there's a whistle and an icing call. I thought he did that because usually you see a player fling the puck like that softly down the ice when they're trying to get time for a line change, but they didn't change lines. That's what I thought was happening there.
Ralph is recovering from a big cold. I think he missed 2 weeks of SHL hockey. He wasn't signing up for any inline hockey either. So he could be still feeling some side effects of that cold. But good to see Ralph Dittmer back on the ice again.
German-born defenseman Ralph Dittmer. Defense-first defenseman, which I really like.
Yeah.
Quick reminder, by the way, as the clock's ticking down here in the opening period, at the end of the next 38, 37, 36 seconds, you can figure out the pattern. It's going to be a local commercial break. So wherever you are, if you're in studio, get ready to fire the next break. It's yours. Puck trickles over the blue line and back out to neutral ice, where it's actually off the skate of Ed McConnell, who nearly was able to collect possession from it, but instead, with 15 seconds left, one last charge perhaps, for Aware trailing by a goal. It was Bauer who kept it in. Bauer overlaps with Mancorn. That puck deflected away, and that's going to do it for the opening period. So with that, we take a break. It's 1-0 SIAM Mandalay leading Aware. This is Thailand's biggest night for hockey. Hockey Night in Thailand.
This is breaking news from ThailandTV.news. Now all the Thailand news is in one place. The latest reports from around the clock and around the world. Breaking Thailand news from all the world's top news sources, translated into 11 languages and updated 24 hours a day. Here's Ali with more.
ThailandTV.news has it all. The latest news, weather and sports updates, plus up-to-the-minute events listings and fun things to do in Thailand. And that's not all. There's also entertainment, lifestyle, and travel news, including the latest visa information. If it's happening in Thailand, you'll find it here at ThailandTV.news.
It's all here at ThailandTV.news. All the latest news, weather, sports, they even cover ice hockey. It's all done at ThailandTV.news. Yes, it's all the Thailand news, all in one place.
1-0 our score, SIAM Mandalay, and Aware it's SIAM Mandalay in the lead, and they switch sides as we begin the second period. Adam Gottschalk, Lance Parker, Greg Beattie, Keith Mueller, and our entire SIAM Hockey League Thailand TV network crew. In the first period, I think, especially the game's opening few minutes, Aware did everything but score, and in the end, on the scoreboard, they find themselves trailing. SIAM Mandalay, who really didn't play very well in the opening few minutes of this game, has to feel pretty good about where they stand right now. That shot. We've seen a lot of that so far. There's really been a lot of shots maybe looking for some kind of traffic, but there's just, this has been a blue line to blue line hockey game for the most part.
Yeah, played in the center ice. There been obviously very few goals. Not a lot of great passing plays either. There seems to be a lot of, losing the puck, errant passes, passing to nowhere where a guy should be but isn't.
Adam, I remember one week when you brought your friend out to observe his first hockey game.
Oh.
And he watched these two teams play in the first half, and then he watched the other two teams play in the second half, and he said, wow, what a difference between the matchups between Lexicon and KCG versus these two teams, SIAM and Aware?
I think you could say, and again, there are very good players on every team in this league. You know, it's not a colossal difference in talent, but there are just, when you reshuffle rosters every year, sometimes certain combinations work, sometimes they don't.
Yeah.
You know, and not every team has a chemistry guy like Lance Parker in a locker room.
I'm no chemist. I'm more of a horticulturalist or a herbalist.
Well, the mint sprigs are, I'm sure, growing beautifully in the Lexicon Lumberjacks locker room as they take over first place in the league.
Indeed.
But not so tries to throw a cross ice pass, but can't get it past.
But it's not so
Maillard.
good.
So what? There's
I missed that completely. It's fine. Eyes on the puck.
No, I was just saying, you said Bonazzo tried to pass that puck, and I said, but it was not so good, but not so good. I was just trying to make funny.
You know, the best jokes are the ones you have to explain later.
Yes. Well, I did one a couple of weeks ago that I think went over your head, where I said, like, where Greg and I were going to play against each other. I said, I'm going to park myself in the net, and Greg's going to try to beat me.
Oh, yeah.
So.
that was over my head too.
Well,
Hey, look, it's a 2-week delayed reaction, but you got to laugh. Wow, that's actually a really good one.
Thank you.
Yeah, no, I'm not impressed at the skating. I'm impressed at your joke.
Sure, hence my thanking you. But T-Ford was looking good.
Stasny keeps the puck in. Bonazzo has it. Beautiful saucer pass that finds the stick of a player whose number was obscured by a screen, and it ends up back out to neutral ice, where Dream will skate over and collect. It would not have been an icing. I guess it was deflected, which is why Dream didn't let that one.
There is a power play on the board, in fact.
Yeah.
Wow, your joke just threw me off so much. I missed that completely.
No, I only knew it now, too. Like you said, why is that not an icing? And then, nice pass across.
Sinigulia was the one who collected that one. Poirier fights and gets tangled up with Oztumel behind the net, which does hold it in. The penalties on Ono Sututikul from Aware, which means it's a SIAM Mandalay power play, but by the time we figured out what was happening, it's over. Here comes Harrison Oztumel, 1-on-2. Oztumel very nearly beat the other two guys down the ice. He was rushing a bit to get that shot off and couldn't really make the move he wanted because the defense was closing quickly.
And that puck was rolling, too. He couldn't settle that puck down, unfortunately. But he was still able to carry it through to the crease.
He still got a shot away on Dream.
Yep.
Score remains 1-0 SIAM Mandalay. The power play that we didn't know happened is over.
Oops. Sorry, folks at home. But we know you knew that.
Back to full and even strength. And Ono's out of the penalty box and skates straight to the bench. There were 5 guys on the ice already for Aware, so there were 6 while Ono was just sprinting across the ice, hoping nobody was going to notice him.
Probably thinking in his head, oh no.
I was waiting for it. I hoped you were going to do that. Nicely done. Not the hardest joke you've ever had to come up with, but...
Oh, penalty on Ralph.
Yeah, Dittmer got his stick tangled up.
That's a no-no.
Ralph says he was going for the puck, not the man.
He probably was, and that's one of those incidental things where sometimes sticks get caught in blades or caught in pieces of uniform, and that was an unintentional trip. But Mancorn ended up on the ice anyway.
Yep.
And the arm goes up, so that is going to be a power play for Aware just after they were shorthanded a moment ago and narrowly avoided the too many men on the ice pad penalty.
Yeah, right.
As Ono raced across the ice trying to make himself. I think he skated on the red line because he's in the red jersey, and that way nobody would see him.
I think you were the only one to notice, Adam.
I was counting. Anyway, so power play Aware, quick clear for SIAM Mandalay.
He was counting, just like Rain Man when those matchbox sticks fall on the ground.
There was a whistle right at the end of the. There was a whistle right at the end of the power play. Oh, nearly. Bonazzo had a breakaway there, shorthanded. But right at the end of the power play, as it hit 0-0, there was a whistle.
Yeah.
But Ono didn't come out of the box. Nobody released him from the penalty box. And so he's still in there, but the power play's over, so Aware sends 5 guys out to the ice.
Yeah.
And then when play resumes, somebody opens the door to the penalty box. He skates out, realizes there's 5 guys out there already, just makes the fastest beeline you'll ever see to the bench. And hey, no harm, no foul. If it's not called, it's not a penalty.
Sure isn't.
So Aware with 1 minute and 15 seconds or so remaining on the Ralph Dittmer penalty. Oh, bad turnover. Maillard with the steal. His shot was blocked, and on the rebound, Devin Michael just couldn't get around the prone defenseman. I was just about to say, though, with Dittmer off the ice, is that one gloved by Dream. Not only are you shorthanded, but you're shorthanded with one of your penalty killers in the penalty box. It would typically be Ralph Dittmer you'd see out there on the PK.
On the penalty killing, 45 seconds.
The 5 on the ice for Aware. It's Roscoe and Fowley.
Well, good to see Roscoe come back.
Yeah, he is back this week.
No, I mean, I saw him exit, go to the change room maybe 5 or 6 minutes ago, and I wasn't sure if that was a permanent exit, but apparently not, because he was back to the ice.
He also missed about, 9 games earlier this season.
The whole season, perhaps, or, quite a few games.
Oh, but not so has a Mike Friesen breakaway. Friesen waits, shoots, high. Snapped that one just over the crossbar, looking to tie this, to give it a 2-0 advantage on a short-handed opportunity. And now, staying on sides, there's Bauer. Waits for his teammates to join him. The penalty is over, and Dittmer still in the penalty box, though. There he comes. So Dittmer's out, back to 5 aside. Both teams now 0 for 1 on the power play. And Roscoe, who we just spoke of, keeps that one on sides barely and shoots one off the skate of Bonazzo. Mike Friesen, the captain, skates over to the official saying, "Are you sure that was onside?"
No, Greg definitely saw that was offside. That looked like an offside to me as well.
Mancorn leaves it to Oztamel. Centering pass was deflected, which was just enough. It still ended up back to Bauer, but it was enough of a deflection to throw the timing of the play off. And now Friesen's got another breakaway. Friesen's shot didn't get much on that one. Centering pass is to nobody and back to neutral ice. We've seen 2 Mike Friesen opportunities in the last couple of minutes where he's just cherry picking on the other side of the ice.
Yeah. Again, he had a rolling puck, same as Harrison did previously.
So we're more than halfway through this hockey game. It's 1-0 SIAM Mandalay leading Aware. We've had some low-scoring hockey in both games today.
Yeah, 4-1 the first game.
Yeah, I mean, it was really low for the first few frames of that first game, but then Gabor Stats took a bit of a tank again.
But in the last 10 minutes of the game. Yeah.
So we are a little bit more than halfway through this hockey game. My only game on the air with you guys today, as I missed the first one, but I've been here at the arena.
Yeah, how'd that go earlier today?
This afternoon today.
3 o'clock.
Yeah, we got here.
You were doing some filming.
So yeah, we're this show you hear us talking about every week on this fine hockey broadcast.
The OTR.
The OTR, the Food and History channel that we've launched. That's on YouTube and also here on Thailand TV. We wanted to do something with SIAM Hockey League, but we're a food channel. So what do? Well, when one of the league's best players opens a donut shop in the parking lot, well, that's exactly what you do. So we decided that we were going to tell the story. Oh, Devin Michael just
that's
tied the game.
inappropriate, wearing Devin Michael's jersey.
Oh, we got 2 4s. Good call. Yeah, that's you're exactly right. I've got 4 and 4.
Yeah. Yeen's wearing that classic Aware jersey. If you take a close look, you can see his jersey slightly different from the rest of them.
Yeah, well, it has been. I can be forgiven. It says Michael on the back.
Yeah, it looks like Michael. I'm sure Devin will certainly take credit for that goal.
They're both out there next to each other, too, right now. Come on, can somebody just think about the broadcasters, please?
I was having the exact same problem, not only last week, but the game before this one as well. I couldn't even remember which team was winning, let alone who had the puck. But anyway.
So the real Devin Michael is in the face cage, we'll remember that. 1-1 is our score here in the second period. So what I was saying, though, we figured let's tell the story of not just what I consider to be one of the best donuts I've ever had, but also, the new community center introduced the idea of hockey in Thailand to a different kind of audience, and you know, never mind the fact that the guy who's making the donuts is not just a terrific hockey player and a former professional hockey player, but a guy with a pretty well-known family name.
Yeah, he comes from hockey royalty.
Yes.
There's a story to be told, let's say, in that donut. And so we were really happy to be out there filming. We got to interview. My one hope today, and this is with all, as Oztamel carrying the puck on a string, has a wide open net.
There we go.
And tucking it in is Mankorn Sukwabun on a gorgeous, gorgeous feed from Oztamel. He got Dream out of position and put the puck where it needed to be and give Mankorn the goal. Aware all of a sudden is taking a 2-1 lead.
The more you promote the barn, the worse SIAM Mandalay does, I'm sorry to say.
Yes, that's the irony here.
You know, but so what I was saying though about the.
But please continue.
No.
Aware would love for you to continue the story.
I was really hoping that, for example, with, you know, as good a goalkeeper as Dom Vollenweider is, who's maybe the best goalie in the country, present company not included, obviously you two would be disqualified from judging because, you know.
Unless there's any...
Because we're within earshot.
No, but my point is, Gabor Toth, along with being a great goalie, is also, you know, quite an entertaining guy, and I was really hoping he'd be here today so we could put a mic on Gabor. We got to talk to... We're going to talk to Lance after the game. We got to talk to Greg on mic. We interviewed Jan Isaacson. Obviously spent some time with Tom. He showed us how to make his donuts. It's been fun. After the game, we're going to go back down there and catch some of the guys as they're coming off the ice. And hey, look, some places it's a bar, some places it's a donut shop.
So when you go back down there, will you have your fourth donut of the day? Am I telling stories out of school?
Oh, Oztamel, breakaway!
Keep talking because Aware keeps scoring, boys.
That's 3 in a row for Aware. Harrison Oztamel, he passed, he got the assist on the last one. This time he did it himself. 11th goal of the year for the Aware captain.
It's good to see Harrison score a goal like that because I think he's been a little bit out of pace for what he's capable of so far this season. So he's got his 11th goal this season. Is that right, 11th?
11's correct.
Good for Harrison.
Stasny, a 1-0 lead has turned into a 3-1 deficit.
What a
and
save by
CJ
Speck.
Gamble very nearly just brought SIAM Mandalay back to within 1, but Speck recovered quickly, as Lance was telling you. Nice play by James Speck.
Every time I say, what a save, please take a drink or do 10 push-ups. Pick your poison. That's my key word for the night. What a save.
So, take a drink is what you're saying.
No, 2-0 here.
Sinagulia, he's got Friesen with him, but his pass was intercepted. The pass was a little behind where he was aiming it, and a pretty nice play recovering defensively by the non-Devin Michael, Devin Michael. Yeen was the one who intercepted it.
4-on-1.
4-on-1. Friesen has Stasny with him. Stasny puts the brakes on. Stasny lost the handle, then tucks it. I thought that was in. My goodness, he got behind the goalkeeper, and somehow that stayed out.
I was getting ready to say, everybody take a drink, because I was going to say, what a save, but...
Well, you did now.
There you go.
Well, it did get behind the goalkeeper, but just not behind the goal line.
I'm shocked that one stayed out.
Well, James Speck was looking very calm as he had
And relieved,
that force.
Yes. So was Tom.
Yes.
That was a 4-0.
Yeah, that was amazing.
But nonetheless,
no goal.
It remains a 3-1 deficit for SIAM Mandalay. Aware, you know, if Aware is going to be the next team, as we spoke about in our first period, to go from worst to first to enter in the third place spot in this league in the playoffs and come home with the championship trophy, they have to tighten this up. This has not been a game without its mistakes, although Aware leads by 2 goals.
Well, in a long season like this, you want to peak at the right time, right? And it seems that Aware is doing just that.
60 seconds remaining here in the second period. This has been a game that has just raced by. 14 shots on goal for Aware, 12 for SIAM Mandalay. As you know by now, if you've been with us for the entire season, to our fine, hard-working board ops and producers, wherever you may be. Local break coming up. Get ready for it. At the end of each period, it is going to be a local commercial break for you. So just know that's coming. That was Ed McConnell who gets the steal. And now Poirier with Saku Rantanen in a 2-on-1. Final 25 seconds of the period. Poirier's shot is right into the belly of Speck.
But he
will
holds
squeeze it.
Easy save for James Speck. No drink for you.
Easy save, but no rebound. That's the key. No rebound.
Indeed.
Well, what do they say about goalies? Easy save means you're in the right position.
Oh. And another
Well, you thought I was
positional
gonna make
save.
a goalie joke or something?
I'm used to those.
I'm a nicer guy than that. Third period coming up. Let's see if SIAM Mandalay has a charge in them. Down by 2 goals, 3-1 aware. Back after this for Thailand's biggest night for hockey. Hockey night in Thailand. Third period of this game, 6th period of the doubleheader, and the final 17 minutes of week 15 out of 16 in the regular season of the SIAM Hockey League. And it's been so much fun to bring it to you. We look forward to the playoffs. I'm going to miss the last regular season game next week. We're going to take our
Me too.
We're going to take our holiday before Songkran.
Greg, it's all yours.
You back for the playoffs?
I'll be back for maybe the last playoff game, the championship game, which is mid-May, I think.
Something like that. You're going to be out of the country, or?
Yeah, I'm going to go to Canada for 5 weeks, go say hello to my mother and my brother and
What are you
all
going
my
by
friends and
container
family.
ship?
Pardon me?
Are you going by container ship?
Maybe 100 years ago, definitely. But no, I'll be flying on a big metal bird across the Pacific.
One of those airplane
There you go.
machines.
That's what they're called, yes.
I was just making a comment about the 5-week holiday, that's all.
Oh, okay.
Not
I miss
here.
Canada. I miss Canada. I miss Canadian food. I miss Canadian Chinese food. I miss Canadian Ukrainian food.
Gonna watch any hockey while you're over there?
I'll be watching SHL broadcast, that's for sure.
All right. We'll give a shout out to you for sure.
Sounds good.
Friesen, nice pass looking for Bonazzo, but he couldn't get his stick on it cleanly. 3-1 our score, Aware leading SIAM Mandalay. 16 minutes left, that's it. If you're just tuning in, Aware is in the red, SIAM Mandalay in the white. There's a steal by Maillard, and he just gets that one past Dream. Dream got a piece of it and slowed it down, but that puck just kept rolling, and it's 4-1 Aware.
Matthew Maillard, one of the last guys you want to leave standing in front of the net with a puck without any defense to defend. Matthew puts that goal in the net. Well done, Matthew. How many goals has he got now?
That is now equal to Harris and Ostermel. They've both scored their 11th of the season in this game.
There you go.
Maillard's one of those guys who scores in bunches. He went a lot of weeks at the beginning of this year without scoring much, and then went a few weeks in the middle of the season. But when he's hot, he's red hot. That pass, gorgeous, on the stick of Bonazzo, and a nice save by Speck, staying with it, and he got that one with a goal stick.
Speaking of red hot, James Speck. If he can continue that momentum, and like you were saying, Aware's looking good for the playoffs. The only unfortunate thing about these playoffs is there'll be a long Songkran break, which could affect the momentum.
That one goes wide. It was Ostermel looking for his second of the game. Adam Simpson battling for it behind the net, and 78 in white took it away, but taken right back by Bauer. Aware with a 4-1 lead. They've scored the last 4 unanswered in this hockey game. It's been a frustrating season for both of these teams, but you get the feeling that for SIAM Mandalay, it's really been a hard year just to figure out what their team's identity is. And, I feel bad because obviously there's some really good players and guys who take this game very seriously on that team.
No disrespect to the SIAM Mandalaysians, but I don't feel so bad because the previous season, a lot of these core guys, they were the kings of the league, and they won almost all of their games. Now, that season was cut short due to COVID, but this is like the opposite mirror effect from where they were before.
We got a 2-0.
Ostamel chased it down and got it, but he tried to make a really quick pass to Maillard. I think if he just slowed down, which you can't really say in the heat of the moment, you're trying to make a play, but they had a little more space down there than I think anybody realized. It was a 2-on-0. Here's one of the Devin Michaels. Nice pass towards Maillard, but it skips over his stick, where Tiford corrals in the corner and stolen away. We are already 4 minutes gone by here in the third period. 4-1 our score. Aware, 4 goals on 16 shots. SIAM Mandalay, 1 goal on 15 shots.
Yeah, the score total is quite low compared to the other games that we've been broadcasting. 16-15 right now, and it's 4-1.
4-1 was also the final margin in the opening game. There's Maillard, who was looking at a potential breakaway, but the outlet pass just a little out of his reach. Sinigulia fighting to steal it from Roscoe, but he couldn't quite make it there. So you're talking about last season's championship team. A lot of these SIAM Mandalay guys were the core of that roster.
Yeah, well, I mean, they didn't get to crown. We didn't have the playoffs, but they were dominating the season. Sorry, who were the guys?
Who were the core guys on that team that are now?
Well, the 1-2 punch of Friesen and Stastny, Ralph Dittmer on the blue line, Andrew Ross, is he on SIAM Mandalay as well?
I believe so, yeah.
He is, but he's not playing in this game.
Okay, and a few other guys as well. Scott Murray was on that squad, and Ben Kleinische, who's actually for the Lexicon Lumberjacks, was also on that squad. And me too for a few games before I got traded to Aware. But anyway, I digress. Aware with the puck.
Was it like a contract dispute?
There was a dispute with Gabor, and he was originally representing Aware, but there were some issues where he was relieved of his duties, and that team that I was on had 2 goalies where everybody else only had 1, so Aware was short, and I helped them out. No, excuse me, I joined their team. I didn't really help them much.
Oh, I think you did.
I don't know. We lost all of our games except for maybe 1 in a shootout.
A better way to say that would be, hey, we won 1 game in a shootout. There's Stastny trying to find some space between 2 players. But so far in this game, Aware just clogging up the passing lanes. Stastny had his stick held, but fights for the puck and keeps it in offensively, where he finds Bonazzo. Sinigulia will circle back to collect. It's still SIAM Mandalay possession, down by 3 goals, and Speck gets down and covers. You guys are both goalkeepers. I'm not qualified to talk about this, but what does James Speck do so effectively, as obviously he's playing some really, really good hockey?
Well, I think the word you mentioned before was positioning, right? If you make the easy save, you're in the right position. And he's a big guy. All he has to do is stand in the right place, and he's likely to save it. He's also got very quick reflexes, and he's playing with confidence.
One of his coaches, as you may know from the 1980s, is Don Sauve, I think.
What? Really? The NHL goalie?
Yes.
Wow, okay. I think he played for the Buffalo Sabres.
That's right.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. That's back in my era.
Yeah, there you go. So
old-time hockey, as they say.
One of his coaches is in his collegiate days, in his...
I'm not sure how old he was when he was being mentored by Sauve, but it's on his list of credits in his resume, because James is also a goalie coach here at the rink. So he's teaching the next generation.
And he's coached in China as well as Thailand.
That's right, yeah.
And he was talking about possibly going up to Mongolia to do some coaching there as well.
Oh, Well, that would be a loss for us here.
Well, I mean, just for a short period of time.
Oh, okay. Thank goodness. No, I like having James here.
What percentage of the league would you say turns over every year as we're getting close to the conclusion of this season?
Oh, that's a very good question. Like, Bangkok is such a transient community.
That's for sure.
And yeah, goodness, I've never thought about that, the percentage of turnover. I'm going to take a wild guess, and I'm just going to say 30, because it's a nice number.
I mean, it's a fine number.
Isn't it?
Sounds a bit large for
It's
me.
a goalie number, too. Oh.
It is a goalie number. I was always 19. That was my good luck number.
That is a good hockey number. Now I just change my number every time I have a birthday.
Gamble
so this
shot
year I'm
is
number 47.
Saved. Number 45 this year, is that right?
47. I was 45 a couple of years back.
My roster still says 45.
It does say that. Your roster is wrong.
Well,
Well, here we go.
if you ask me who I trust more, a printed roster or you, Lance, I'm going to go with the printed roster. I believe you wear number 45.
The choice is yours.
I don't appreciate you giving me factually incorrect information like that. Clearly, you wear number 45. That's what my printed roster says.
I guess I'm going to have a conversation with Dom about that.
17 shots for both sides, but
Ooh.
4 goals for Aware and 1 for SIAM Mandalay.
2-on-1?
Maillard, 2-on-1, and there's a shot from one of the Michaels that's in. That's the real Devin Michael, who just pots his 6th goal of the season. And Devin Michael gets the goal.
He's been scoring in bunches too, eh, Greg? He scored a
Yeah,
goal last
and,
game.
and who knows, we might call that a fatherhood goal because
Yeah.
his wife is about to give birth, if she hasn't already. We actually couldn't get any confirmation on that before the game, but I know it's going to be any day if it hasn't happened already.
Exactly. Big Daddy gets another goal on the board.
5-1 Aware. You know, it hasn't been the prettiest game by any measure, but Aware came in with one purpose in this game, which was just to take care of business and keep the momentum going, and they have most certainly done that and nearly got another one as Eric Fowley had a wide open net, but the pass went a little bit behind him.
Taking care of business and no need for overtime today.
Mike Friesen and Tom Stasny, both of them held off the score sheet so far in this one. Both Friesen and Stasny came in with 13 goals on the season. Maillard has that one blocked, but it very nearly finds its way on. That's Ralph Dittmer, who just went down, by the way. He's okay being helped to the ice by Maillard.
That puck literally went through him.
Oh! That off the outside of the iron. I don't know whether that was Simpson's shot or Friesen's deflection that was inches away from being the second goal of the game for SIAM Mandalay, but either way, it is nothing on the scoreboard other than a shot. So many odd man opportunities in this game. That's not one of them, but it seems like the last 3-4 possessions for Aware, we've been calling 2-on-1, 3-on-2, 4-on-0. Down to 5.5 minutes left in this hockey game. It's 5-1 Aware with the lead. Lance, we are most certainly gonna miss you.
Thanks. I'm going to miss being up here. I'm really having a great time. And I hope you, while in my absence, will take to the ice and play some shinny. Otherwise, Keith has more games than you playing shinny.
Well, whether I do or not is irrelevant. I'll certainly tell you that I did.
Well, I was able to convince Greg to come out, so you're my next target.
I might not be great at hockey, but I'm very good at Photoshop.
Well, if you ask Keith Mueller, he might say the same. I'm not sure about those Photoshop skills, but he has.
That was a lie, by the way. I'm really bad at Photoshop. That is not a skill that I possess in any way. I use Microsoft Paint. If you know this program, if you're familiar with Microsoft Paint, it's a lovely, I believe, top of the line photo and image editor.
Sounds like too much work for me. I just know the on-off button and enter. That's about it.
I think Microsoft Paint came with Windows 95, maybe Windows 3.1. Dream keeps his blocker on the ice. That one was almost twice on that possession, almost tucked past him.
That puck
somehow
is
it
just orbiting
stays
the
out.
net.
Yeah, right? It's a great description for that. It's literally just like winning this. It was like a yo-yo, just swinging around in a circle. Gamble with the puck. CJ Gamble. I talked to him before the game. You know what he does for a living?
I do.
Interesting guy.
Well, I know a few of his jobs. I don't know exactly how many pies he's got in the oven, but
designing and manufacturing hockey equipment. Such a cool thing to do. I want to hear more about that if I get a chance to talk to CJ. Wonderfully nice guy, by the way, as well. A lot of the guys in the league certainly are.
And we have
That's
another
a goal. I think
Went
that's
under
going to
the
be
pads.
credited to Mancorn. I believe Mancorn Sukuipo, number 10 in red, was the second one in and the last one to touch it. And if so, that's his second goal of the game.
yeah, scrum in front of the net. I think Dream was trying to pull off the Scorpion move, lifted that pad up, and that puck snuck right under there.
Nice from Ralph Dittmer, the veteran German defenseman, skating over to his goalie, who's now on the score sheet not having a very good game, and Dittmer skates over and gives him a little pat and
Yeah.
some words of encouragement. I mean, maybe Dittmer was skating over and insulting him, in which case I take back my compliment to him, but I think that's not what happened.
No, it looked lovingly caring from Ralph to Dream.
And Ralph appears to be one of the real good guys in this league, certainly as well. Simpson's pass to Stasny is deflected away, and here's Maillard, another odd man opportunity. 3-on-2 this time for Aware. Drop pass. There's a shot from the real Devin Michael. I have to wait until I see whether there's a face mask or not. Here's Simpson. He's got Bonazzo and Friesen alongside. Bonazzo attempted to thread a pass through all 5 Aware players. I'm not sure that was the right move on that possession. However, nonetheless, Tom Stasny just got hooked, and I would imagine the arm's going to have to come up.
Yeah,
and
a little
it did.
hooking.
So now Dream skates off. Just 2 minutes left in this game. It's all academic, but at least it will be a power play when the puck is touched, and it still hasn't been yet, though. So McConnell fighting in the middle for possession. It is in the skates of Teaford, and there's the whistle. So the final, barring a goal, the final minute and 50-plus seconds of this hockey game is going to end in a power play. I'm going to quickly thank our production crew for the evening, both for the one game I've had a chance to work with you guys and the one you did beforehand, when I know you didn't believe me when I said I wasn't available, when most of that game I was just standing over you guys' shoulders. But executive producer of Hockey Night in Thailand is Keith Mueller. Camera crew, Jin, Pang, Ellie, Opor, Tanya, and Sonia. Lance Parker, Greg Beatty. I already said Keith Mueller, but I'll say it again. Keith Mueller. My name is Adam Gottschalk, and it is an honor and a privilege to be able to do this and bring you the very best coverage of hockey, not just here in Thailand, but in, I would say, I don't know, how many countries officially are recognized? There's 183, something like that. Let's say we're in the top 160 countries for hockey streaming broadcasts. Would you agree?
I couldn't disagree with that.
You said 30's a number that you like, so let's say...
And I also like 47, too.
I don't believe it. That's speaking of being good at Photoshop.
I just showed Adam a photo, but he refuses to acknowledge my age.
I didn't say I don't acknowledge your age. I said I don't acknowledge your uniform number.
Oh, well, even worse. So you're calling me old, then?
Friesen to the middle, and a deflection from Stasny just misses over the shoulder of Speck.
I could almost call you my son, Lance. You want to speak age?
All right, well, I'll call you my Saturn.
Tom Stasny just put one home.
With 12 seconds.
That's, Tom Stasny's a guy who loves hockey so much. I'm pretty sure that in the losing end of as the clock ticks down, of a 6-2 final score, he's not going to leave happy, but at least on the score sheet, give him his 14th goal of the season, and that's it. Time's expired. Game's over. 6-2, the final score. Aware gets the win over SIAM Mandalay. With that, Aware 6-9-2. SIAM Mandalay, the record falls to 3-13-1. Adam Gottschalk, Lance Parker, Keith Mueller, Greg Beatty. So this was a take care of business kind of day for Aware.
Yeah.
They knew what they had to do. They couldn't make any mistakes. They couldn't risk guys getting injured. But right now, they're playing as well as anybody in the SHL.
They're looking really
The momentum
good.
continues. A lot of that is that, the brick wall of James Speck behind the net. All season long, we've spoken about how can Aware find scoring. They lost Oleg Kabakov after three games this season.
Yep.
Where's the scoring going to come from? Well, right now, it's coming from all over the roster. That's a scary team the way they're playing right now.
It is. Well, Mancorn got a couple of those goals tonight, I believe. But otherwise, it's...
Yin got one, Mancorn got one. You forgot about Yin because I misidentified him as Devin Michael the whole time.
Yeah.
Devin Michael, number 2.
Yeah. I expect Yin to continue to represent Aware through the playoffs. I'm not sure what the rules are on having subs on your team, but Aware certainly deserves them, as you said, with so many players missing. Losing Patrick Forstner, Corey Day, Oleg, how do you say his name?
Kabakov, yeah.
Kabakov, the cab driver. Taxi man, Oleg is not here. So
Here's
they
what we're
need to
going
pick up a lot of players.
This is probably the last broadcast of the season for Lance Parker. So I think what we're going to do is just let Lance do a stand-up routine for the next 2 minutes. So if you have something prepared, or if not, just like improvise. You've got so many one-liners and jokes today. Let's just turn it over to. If you want me to snap behind you, I can do that.
I wish I could have prepared in time because I've been cracking jokes by myself all night and I got nothing now. I'm emptied. I'm all out of jokes. Sorry.
As we get ready to wrap up, Greg, final thoughts on this game.
The difference between Aware this game and last game, their goalie won it for them, James Speck. Tonight, he didn't have to win it for them. The team won it for them. So a big difference between both Aware games, which they won both games.
I hope Aware can carry that momentum through. But like I said, there's going to be a big break in April. We'll have the Thai New Year break, and then the national team will be heading to South Africa and be competing in another IIHF tournament there. And so as a result, there's going to be at least 2 or 3 weeks break in the playoffs, and that will definitely affect teams either negatively or positively.
Also, the interesting thing is, we'll wrap up. Last week, Aware beat KCG, is that correct?
Yes.
Yes, they
This
did.
week, Aware beat SIAM Mandalay. That means for the final regular season game of the year, it's the two teams that are the hottest in the league by a lot, Aware and Lexicon Lumberjacks, and that's the final game going into the postseason.
Yep.
That is pretty exciting.
Wow. Indeed, yeah. If Lexicon can win that game, they'll definitely be in first place. And if you're in first place, this does make a difference because you get to choose your opponent for the playoffs. And I don't know who they would choose.
Well, I'll be watching from Ko Chang. So I look forward to seeing, number one, how it goes, and number two, where I can find Wi-Fi. Guys, it's been a pleasure as always. Keith, thank you so much for all that you do for the crew. My name is Adam Gottschalk. This has been Thailand's biggest night for hockey, Hockey Night in Thailand. So long.
Bye-bye.
This has been a presentation of Thailand TV.tv, winner of the SHL Golden Mike Award for Excellence in Broadcasting.